Welcome back to the Basic Gear Review Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And if this is your first time listening to us, we are the podcast extension of the smash hit YouTube channel, aptly titled Basic Gear Review. We're over 11,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it was like last week, right?
Yeah.
Week or two ago?
I think we're at 11,100 and something.
Yeah, something. We're already up past 100.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know,
just
it's
checked,
gnarly.
It was like 11.
So it's still growing, even though we had a short little break. We're going to get into that. But real quick, we got to talk about the bass that Will is holding and played at the top of the intro.
Yeah, we finally got our giveaway bass finished after all these months.
Yeah, it took long enough. And part of that was waiting for a lot of the parts to arrive, specifically being the hip shot stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the specifics of what's in this bass, what's on this bass, what this bass is, and when we're giving it away later. But first, we have a tremendous amount of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we've been gone quite a while. 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
Yeah.
So let's real quick, what have you been doing in the 2.5 months?
I've been working the job. I'm pretty sure I talked about the last time we had a podcast.
Yes.
It was new at the time. I'm still working there. The schedule's the same every week, so that's nice. So it gives me time to gig a lot, which I have been doing. They've slowed down recently because the band I was gigging in called Coffin, which we'll listen to in a moment here, the singer moved to Long Beach, and the guitar player is in San Luis Obispo. So me and the drummer are here, and so it's kind of a pain in the ass to rehearse and get gigs and stuff.
So Ventura's about, would you say halfway? Or
probably halfway. If you take into account traffic, so like if you take how long it takes, probably halfway.
Yeah.
But I think Long Beach is
because you got
closer.
less traffic going northbound.
Yeah, but slows a little further, so you kind of...
That's true. Same amount of time,
yeah,
a little bit longer distance.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. He just moved there like a week or two ago, so it's slowed down significantly. But for a while, for those 2 months, we were gigging pretty steadily, making some money, which was cool.
Yeah,
I'm
it seemed like almost every Wednesday and Friday you guys had something
honestly,
going.
Which is what slowed us down here for sure.
Which was tough because Friday was normal. Well, Thursday or Friday was kind of our shoot days.
Yeah.
And Nick, I don't know exactly what his wife is doing, but his wife has some obligation Thursday night, so Nick has to be home with the kids.
Oh, really? Okay.
So Thursdays are out.
And then I was gigging.
You were gigging.
Constantly gigging all over the place, like all up and down California, which was fun. I had a good time doing that for sure. I mean, gigging is one of the funnest parts about playing music, obviously. And when you're making money doing it, it's totally different. What I mean? That's great.
I did a 3-hour gig at a local bar recently. We made the band made $300. There's 3 of us in there. $100 each.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
We did we played actually the Ventura County School District wanted us to play the grad night for the graduating class of 20.
Oh, that's right.
What is it, 18? Oh my god.
Yeah. I graduated in 09.
I graduated in 15. Jesus, you're old. So it's only been a couple years for me, but I didn't go to my grad night, so it was kind of cool. And it's like, it was better not knowing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you're in high school, it's like all the judgments, and you're like, oh, I got to sit at my table so I look cool. But I didn't know any of these people, so I was like, dude, I'm going to go play on all these jolly jumps. I'm having a great time.
Hell yeah, you are.
But we got $750 for playing for an hour.
Dude, and there's 4 of you in the band.
Only 3 of us played, though. So we
that's even better.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So that was cool. But it slowed down significantly, and we've been writing stuff, and we're going to be dropping this album soon. We're just looking for a cover, and none of us can agree on anything. So,
well, let's hear a little bit of the album. This is the first single, right?
Yeah, this is what we
called
released
Secret
so far.
Knife. Now, as this long intro is happening, what rig you recorded up in San Luis Obispo?
Yeah, we recorded in San Luis Obispo with a guy named Nolan Perry. He was a really cool dude. He graduated from Cuesta, I believe, with a bachelor's in like production, which is cool. I used my number 1, the P bass.
Oh, let's hear it real quick. Here it comes. Nice. Okay, so that was your number 1 P.
So it's the number 1 P with Lindy Fralin pickups, which you got me for, what was it, Christmas?
Yeah.
I think.
And okay, now we've been, I don't know if you've had that bass on here
For a while.
since it's had those pickups, because you had
I had
the SPB4, the Steve Harris.
SPB4 is right before this, yeah.
And then I got you for Christmas the Lindy Fralin, just the stock P-bass pickup. And then you recently got them put in, so that's what this is.
Yeah.
And then what amp were you doing?
And then I'm using the Fender Super Bassman, a 300-watt full
with some
tube.
gain, clearly.
Yeah, using the overdrive channel
Yeah.
and just a dark glass compressor.
Oh,
What
nice.
it's called. What is it called?
Super Symmetry.
Super Symmetry,
Which
yeah.
is being discontinued.
I know, but luckily we have one, so
Yeah.
nothing to worry about there. But yeah, that's a shame because those things are amazing. But I was using that straight into the amp on the overdrive channel.
And then
That's
DI?
it. Yeah, he DI'd me. And he EQ'd it really well. He really
Yeah, it's got some
got
punch
like a
to it.
speaker sim type of EQ to it. You know what I mean?
Yo,
That's
yeah.
what I was worried about because I brought my whole 810. And I got there and the guy was like, I'm just going to DI you. And I was like, okay. We were playing all together in the room. We recorded live. And so that's the only reason I was like, okay, I'll let you DI me. Because otherwise I would have kind of insisted that he use the speaker.
Oh, yeah, because the
You know what I
speaker
mean?
sounds awesome.
Yeah, exactly. But I was asking him, like, oh, are you going to use a speaker sim anyway? He's like, no, I'll just EQ it. I was like, oh, God. Okay, well, let's see what happens. And then first mix he sent us, it sounded great. So, and he was just such an awesome guy to work with. He was really cool, really laid back.
Yeah,
It was
the
up in
whole mix sounds bitchin'.
It really does.
I
sound
love
really good.
how mid-present and just present in general the bass is in the mix.
Yeah.
It really works.
And I like that my bandmates like that too. Because a lot of times we run into the issue of like, oh, the bass is too loud. But they're like, no, dude, it fucking sounds so good.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And where we recorded was really cool. It was like a little, it was like, oh man, almost like a side house type deal, you know, where like it's one big room and the kitchen's right there and the bathroom's right there.
Oh,
And
like
it
a
was
guest home thing.
Yeah, kind of like a guest home. And it was out, like on the outskirts of Pozo, California, which is like right by Santa Margarita. So maybe like 20 miles north of San Luis Obispo.
Oh, okay.
And it was like in the middle of the forest. It was the most beautiful place. It was awesome. And so, yeah, like I said, we just did, 7 songs and then like a little intro thing.
Oh, cool.
All live together. It took us 3 days, I think, to knock them all out.
And when is that going to be officially released?
Hopefully this month. I'm thinking in July.
Okay, cool.
I just don't know the exact day. So we're trying to have like a release show and do all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
And then the other day, I had a 15-hour recording session from 1 p.m. to like 6 a.m.
Dude, that's gnarly.
Yeah, it was so much fun, though. I like hardly got tired because I was so excited to do it. And this one was just kind of like, we're just doing demos, you know, so we didn't have like a producer per se. It was just me,
Yeah.
like doing everything. So,
And from what I remember, a lot of it was just kind of straight in. Oh, excuse me. Straight
Yeah.
into the interface.
so the bass was straight into the interface, and I just EQ'd it to my liking. And then the guitar was direct out of a katana, a Boss katana, which has a direct out.
Yeah, I've never played one personally, but I hear good
They
things.
sound really good. It's really surprising.
Recording sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. So we did that with the guitar you gave me, the Frankenstein
Yeah.
Les Paul. Everything on that was that guitar. Because it was just between tracks, we just and it would just tune. We're like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Just to make a long story short, I had an Epiphone Les Paul that I heavily modded.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, I don't think anything other than the selector switch on that guitar was original.
Yeah,
Well,
like
and the wood,
finish.
obviously.
Yeah, just like
But
the bass and
yeah, I
stuff.
recently gave that to Will as a birthday and something other present that I'll tell you about in a little bit. But yeah, so it's got Seymour Duncan P rails in it, piezo or piezo, however you want, and then it's got the Tronicle that a lot of people don't like, but I dig it.
Everybody that I was playing with too was stoked on it.
You
too. They'd
hit
never seen
3
anything like
buttons
it.
and you're in a drastically different tuning.
Yeah.
You go from E standard to G to open G. It's crazy.
Every time we would tune it, he would strum it, Eddie would strum it, and we would just watch them go, and they would just start cracking up. They're like, "What the fuck? That's insane!"
I remember I bought those in 2013. They took 3 weeks, came from Germany, and I put them on and mixed reviews. I had some people go like, I've never seen that," and then some people like, "Oh my god, you're too lazy to tune." It's like, no, dude,
just
you're
so
playing
fast.
a show,
Yeah.
and you only have like one guitar, and you need to be in a different tuning for the next song. What's worse than, telling that joke and then tuning the? Oh god, you just hit a button and you're good to go.
Exactly.
It has
Those things
nothing
are
to do with
awesome.
lazy. It's called efficiency. But anyway, let's hear a track from what? Now you guys don't have a band name, right?
We're between like 3 band
We're
names.
between names.
Yeah, I'm not gonna really tell you what the 3 are because none of them are that cool.
Okay.
So this is just a group comprised of me, a friend of mine who plays drums with you and I actually in our other group. Train
Yeah,
River.
Aaron Price.
Aaron
Big
Price.
shout out to Aaron Price. He is a phenomenal drummer.
And then we got Brad Maraspini on guitar, who is a phenomenal guitarist.
That
and
dude
then
is unreal.
It's insane. And then Eddie Velasquez writes all the songs and does the singing and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then me, obviously. So I use my number 1 bass on this too, just direct in. And then Aaron used like a sonar kit.
Ooh, yeah.
I've never even heard of them, to be honest.
Phil Rudd used him from AC/DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it sounded really good.
He's like the dude that most people associate first with that kit.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like with Bonham and Ludwig.
Oh, okay.
Same kind of deal.
So yeah,
which song do we want to hear from this?
These are all working titles, mind you. But you could do Goose Flow, the first one. That one's my favorite one
All right,
so far.
let's check this one out. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, this one leaves me a lot of room to do really cool stuff. But the other one's just like hammer it, you know what I mean?
There was another one that I heard that you had a lot of room to do a sweet line.
Yeah, we could put that one on.
I want to hear that one a little bit. So smooth.
I know, Eddie writes some really cool vocal melodies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if you have kids, sorry about
Be
that.
careful.
The infamous F word.
He writes some funny lyrics too. This is still in the process of mixing and stuff, obviously, but
Yeah, but you get an idea of the
Yeah.
skeletal structure. That's going to be a good crowd moment.
Yeah.
To get everyone like clapping and snapping.
We were gonna put claps into the recording too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a lot of fun to play these songs. We did the 3 that I sent you so far.
Yeah, I've been listening to them quite a bit in
Me
the car
too.
or at home on my Bose. It's just like, oh, dude.
Yeah, they're really good. I'm stoked at how well they came out because I've dabbled in producing music with people before, and it's never come out this good.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. The more you do it,
Yeah.
You know, I remember I'm not going to say that I'm like going in to be a professional masterer, but when I kind of figured it out a little bit, and the next recording I did sounded way better than the last.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, oh, okay, I'm starting to wrap my head around this. I just haven't written a song in 3 years.
And YouTube is an incredible tool also.
Oh yeah, those
Teaches you
Logic tutorials.
So much stuff. So I'm still working on it. I'm really picky about how things sound, which is because what I want to do as a career is this. So like
Production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm having a lot of fun doing it. But there's the other one is My Son.
This has a killer bass track.
Yeah, the verse. I actually didn't write that bass line. Eddie wrote that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bummer.
Yeah,
You
but it's okay.
executed it well though.
I write everything else. He's written like 2 things of all the songs. But there was no way I could turn it down. I was like, dude, that's the coolest thing. Like, I'm totally going to play that. I'm going to need to use my pedals because I did a sub octave and then like an auto wah, like a, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like a envelope filter. But the plug-in ones aren't that good, so I gotta.
No, they don't seem to be as touch responsive.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
I like
dude,
the
that's
sub.
cool.
The sub one is nice, but the envelope filter one isn't very good, so I gotta use something else. But
Well,
yeah, it's a cool
between you, I, and Nick, we got
plenty of
a
stuff.
filter twin, an MXR, and a Proton. We should
yeah,
be fine.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's gonna be cool. Doing like if you redo those lines and go through the tone hammer.
yeah, that's what I wanted
It's
to do.
gonna sound killer.
I meant to grab it before, like last time when we were here, but
You know what could be cool? If we used our Super Squire giveaway, then it'll live forever.
that's true. That would
right?
be cool. That
So
would
then
be
people,
cool.
whoever wins it, they could be like, check it out. My bass was on this song.
That's true.
And it's got a smooth tone.
yeah, it's nice.
We'll hear it a little bit more in a minute.
Yeah, this thing is awesome.
Busting through a little bit more news. What I've been up to is I recently got married.
Yeah,
Yeah, June 3rd. Will was my
Damn.
best man.
it's been a long time already.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So that was another reason for that guitar. It was your birthday, which was on the 23rd of June. My wedding was on the 3rd. So best man gift, birthday gift. Boom. You can do a lot more with this guitar than I ever could. So here you go.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. That thing is so cool.
Yeah, so Will's my best man. Nick was in my wedding party, obviously, and then Nick's band played. They did a killer set, dude.
Yeah, they were
like,
awesome.
I know I had a couple guests who were like, like beforehand, is his band good? And I'm like, yeah, no, I've seen him a couple times at bars around Ventura, and these are the types of songs they do. Here's some specific songs they do, and everyone was blown away. Nick had a big old stack of business cards. He's like, hey man, would you give these out? I said, yeah, dude, hell yeah. I mean, no offense, but this is kind of like at least 50% my day. I can do whatever I want today. So I was handing his cards out, and my wife and I, instead of doing a first dance, because I am, as Bill Burr would say, shockingly Caucasian, I'm not going to embarrass myself. So do what I do best, right? Which is, play music. Her and I did a first song instead of a first dance. And Nick's band was our backing band. I played guitar. I played my 2014 Gibson Explorer. Was so happy to bust that out. And then she sang. We did a Paramore tune, which is her favorite band. We did Still Into You. And then my favorite band, if you don't already know, is Metallica. And we did For Whom the Bell Tolls. And as a joke, we were calling it For Whom the Wedding Bells Toll. Just for that day, that was the title. Yeah,
that was so cool. That was awesome. Everybody loved that too.
Yeah, that was our plan too, because we had the Paramore one pretty much set in stone. Like, cool, she can sing it, the lyrics are relevant, this and this. And then I totally expect her to shoot it down. I was like, what would be cool? After that song's done and people are applauding, they think that's it. You just da-dun, da-dun, bow, wah-na-na-na. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I let Nick borrow the Cliff Burton Fuzz Wop.
Yeah, and he executed that perfectly.
I had to tell him, because at first when we were doing the rehearsals, he was doing the wah like with the beat,
like
rhythmically. I was like, no, dude, it's a super slow, like wow,
Yeah.
And then so once he locked that in, it was just like, it came out perfect. Yeah. It was so fun.
You guys all did a really good job. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was really excited about that.
I had a good time. It was a nice day.
Yeah, it really was.
Everything happened
went off
really well too.
Without a hitch. We didn't have a wedding plan. We just kind of pulled it off.
For the lack of planning, it all turned out perfectly. It was crazy.
Done by 4, and then her and I went out to Oxnard to see Kevin Smith live.
That's right. And you had your little cottage.
She wore the dress and everything, dude.
Really?
We just walked in like in our whole wedding attire.
That's awesome.
Great.
Did anyone say anything?
A couple people did, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
congratulations, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was that day. And then a couple weeks after that, I got an email from somebody at Warwick with some huge news.
Yeah.
We got invited to, just one of us really. They wanted you because you're obviously the face of the show.
Yeah.
But I opted, said anything we do is a group team effort, this and this. So long story short, Warwick invited us to GitCon 2018 in Germany.
Which is insane.
Which I know I'm going to kind of butcher the pronunciation, but it's Mark Neukirchen, right? Is that?
Yeah, I think that's right.
I apologize to anyone who's fluent in German, but that's at least how it's spelled, and my Americanism phonetics, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. But it's a little east of Frankfurt.
Yeah, it's like right on the border of the Czech Republic.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's
like very
cool.
Close. And the history, I read up about the place because I was all stoked. The history of the city is that they thrive on like the production of musical instruments. Like back in the 1817 crazy hundreds.
Oh, this is my kind of city.
Yeah, they were making like violins and stuff, and that was how they made their living. Everybody there was making violins and doing that kind of stuff. So it's appropriate that Warwick would be there.
Yeah. So we're going to be, they're going to get footage too, whoever's putting it on, but we're going to be walking around with a camera at least and getting some footage. I'm excited to see what's over there.
I'm excited for everything. Like
the thing that tripped me out, and this is coming from someone, while I'm not, I don't have too much camera time, I am a huge part of Basic Gear Review. So being, a YouTube person on that platform, I guess, I saw a video from, I think it was last year's GitCon where it had, it was like, 10 guitar players play through a Marshall JTM, I think it was, I forget the specific, the Plexi Van Halen Marshall on just everything on 10. And I'm like, this is going to be good. And I didn't know what GitCon was, and every single person was like a YouTube guy. I had the dudes from That Pedal Show, Colin from CS Guitars, a bunch more. I think Jared Dines might have been there, Chappers maybe, or at least the captain. Yeah. But it was just all these YouTube people, and I'm like, kind of expected to see like, I don't know, even like at least Jared James Nichols or somebody like new and relevant, who's but no, it's just all YouTube guys.
Yeah,
like,
that's what the email said too. He's like, it's just we get together, get the YouTube community together and stuff.
That's cool. Because when I watched that video, that was the first time I ever heard of that convention at all, and so I was shocked to see that it was all YouTube people. Oh, I think Fluff was there too.
Yeah, that's right. And so they said they like invite like 25, something like
or
that, 25 people with like all the expenses paid, which is insane. That's just like ridiculous. That's so cool. And I found out. I just always assumed because like I'm, I was raised in America, so my history and
What is your thing? You've never
and-
been farther east than like Vegas?
Yeah, exactly. And my schooling isn't as good as other countries either. So I
Yeah.
don't know much about anything other than us, which is sad. But
But we don't even know that much.
yeah, exactly. It's awful.
Real quick, Nate, when was the Civil War?
Back then. It was a while ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's sad. I mean, that's partially because I didn't pay attention and partially because the schooling
Yeah,
sucks
there's
here.
blame on both sides.
But anyway, I found out that the cars drive the same in Germany as they do here. So I was worried because they were like, "Oh, you can rent a car and you'll be more like independent." And I was like, "I don't know how to drive like backwards like that." And then I was talking to my mom. Our grandpa and my mom went to Germany like
Oh, I remember that. I
a
was
while
like
ago.
6 when they did that. Yeah.
And so they were telling me, "No, the cars drive the same way." I was like, "Sweet, I'm totally gonna get a car, and we could just share that the
The
whole week."
thing, though, I've been to Europe once, and it was predominantly Italy that I was in. But I did do I did do a little time in Greece, like I went to prison. Spent a little time in Greece, and couple minutes passing through Barcelona. But even though you're driving on the same side of the road and in the same side in the car, their streets are really small.
That's what I've heard.
It's shocking. Like those smart cars. I went to and I was in Paris for a little bit. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I saw a smart car. Yeah. First time I saw a smart car was 05.
Oh, yeah. Because they're normal over there,
dude,
right?
in 05, like the number one selling car was a Chevy Tahoe in America. So you're used to these big freeways.
The opposite, yeah.
And now all of a sudden the smart cars, you see them everywhere, and that was the first time I saw them was in France. But I have to admit, I'm a little nervous to drive over there.
Nah, we'll be fine. I'll drive if you need me to.
All right, cool. my wife does not do well in the car. So,
Really?
Yeah, she gets.
The place is like not too big, and you know what I mean. I think
Yeah, we should be fine.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Contrary to here, even though we have huge freeways, we also have like an insane amount of people. Whereas over there, I feel like that's probably not the case.
Well, we're about to find out, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
So
but
we're going October 6th, and we will return October 14th, I believe. We will be back at LAX.
Is it? Okay, yeah. I thought it was...
Because we depart Germany the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
And then we set foot at home on the 14th.
That's right. Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. All Will's expenses are paid. I have to figure out the funds for my ticket. We were considering doing like a GoFundMe. I've since come into some money, so now I feel a little weird asking the public for money. Mm-hmm. So I think I have my plane ticket covered. So the only real thing I'm going to have to kind of be mindful of is, food and lodging.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, they're paying for all of my food and lodging, so I'll try to share.
I don't know about all your food.
Stuff. Oh, I thought it said food.
The plane, maybe.
I think they said food and just not alcohol.
Unless it's just food at the event. If you leave and go to McDonald's or something. Then,
yeah, I don't think they'll give me like a Warwick card or something. But still, that's
have a
cool.
Big
That'll give us, some wiggle room.
Yeah, I think
funds wise.
Either way, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good time.
Just go out in the woods and hunt a squirrel, and we should be all right.
A squirrel. Yeah, that sounds delicious. So that's exciting. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. So definitely going to be a lot of footage happening. We'll do plenty of Patreon behind the scenes stuff. Mm-hmm. What that is yet, I'm not sure. But maybe like a BGV, Basic Gear vlog.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we'll see. We usually don't have an issue with that kind of thing.
We're pretty good.
I'm not very good at talking to people, but I mean, like, I'll do it anyway. That's how I am at NAMM. The only thing I'm worried about is like language barrier stuff outside of the convention. Well, but apparently a lot of people there speak English too. We sound so ignorant right now. It's unbelievable.
Well, hey, we've never been.
Yeah, I know, but like I feel like other places know a lot about things.
Well, like you said earlier, that's kind of half our country's fault too.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hey, you know what? Doesn't matter what we know. We got nothing but love for everybody.
That's true.
We can be ignorant all we want as long as we don't hate anyone, right?
I was thinking I'll move to Germany, like just not come back and just teach English.
Hey.
I've been training for that my whole life without even knowing it.
Well, apparently from your NAMM story, you can work at Warwick now.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. I think I told that before I was playing. Yeah, I was playing a bass, and these two guys came up, and they thought I worked for Warwick because I was at the booth, like, just shredding on this bass. They were like, man, so, like, what is this? And I started talking about it and stuff. And I was like, all right, guys, I got to go. And they're like, you don't work here? Like, you don't work for Warwick? I'm like, no, I'm just a fan.
That happens to me at Instrumental all the time.
It's hilarious.
They always come to me like, do you work here? I'm like, no, but I'm an enthusiast. What can I help you with?
And I can help you still. I know about all this stuff.
I do believe that is all of our news.
Yeah, now to the base.
To the base. Okay,
the moment you've been waiting for.
Yeah, only 25 minutes in, and we're already getting to the fun stuff.
They're like, we don't follow you to hear about your life. We're here for the base stuff.
Yeah. Be real. That's why you listen to the podcast.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, longer ago than I would care to admit, we announced that we were going to be giving away an additional Super Squire because we did our own. We started with that 70s vintage modified.
Yeah.
It was natural. We painted it black. We put EMGs in it. EMG passives, by the way, JM52.
Yeah.
Hipshot drop tuners, Hipshot kick-ass bridge, and then the EMG.
Oh, we put the nut on there?
Oh, the nut, yeah. Which we'll talk about that in a second. But then we chose the EMGs on ours for two reasons. One, because our Geezer Butler ones sounded so good.
Oh, yeah.
They're just passive, and the solderless connector. They sound great in the green bass, so we're like, cool, these are probably going to be sort of similar, right? They're still EMG passives. But another thing is we're not super good with the soldering, so that was another incentive of like, dude, you just plug it in and you're ready to roll.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the comments didn't seem super psyched on the tone. I dig it.
But to be fair, it's also gotten a lot better like as it sat there and kind of settled in itself. You know what I mean?
I don't know the science behind this, but it does seem like when you put new pickups in a guitar or a bass or whatever, they take a little while to kind of like bond with it, you know?
Yeah, it's weird.
That happened with my P-Rails on that Epiphone. Put them in and they sounded super sterile. And
you were telling me about like something with like you vibrate a certain frequency or something, it like becomes more accustomed to that. So just playing it gets it more.
Yeah, again, not a scientist, but from what I read, I do a lot of internet research in my spare time on my phone. If you vibrate an instrument, which naturally, if you're playing it, it's vibrating.
Yeah.
But if you're not playing it, there's people who put their guitars in front of their PA speakers or their home stereo speakers. And if you vibrate the guitar, the word am I looking? The glue. There we go. Hello. The glue will kind of settle and loosen, and the wood becomes more accustomed to vibrating. And then there's an even further out there theory that if you can vibrate the guitar at a certain frequency, let's say E, if you just pluck the E string, then over time the guitar will vibrate better with that frequency. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't know how true it is. However,
it doesn't sound wrong though.
I wanted to put that to the test. I have my wife, before she was my wife, had this job where she was working at I think it was called an adult boutique store. We all know what they sell.
Euphemisms.
There. So their number one selling item was the Hitachi magic wand.
Back massager.
And it's like Hitachi made it to be a back massager.
Yeah.
But it's, people find other uses for stuff. So anyway, I bought one because I actually wanted a back massage because my shoulders were hurting for this period of time. So I went in there and, I got my sweet discount. Mm-hmm. So I was using it for my shoulders and everything. And I was like, dude, I'm going to put this up on my, I have 2016 Gibson SG Standard. And it was, it just felt and sounded new. It just didn't really breathe, all these stupid terms that we have. So I'm like, let me test out this vibration. I live in an apartment, so I can't be that loud with my stereo. So I took the Hitachi wand to it and just held it there while I watched TV. I held it there for like 25 minutes. I'll be damned if that thing doesn't sound better.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know how much of that is placebo.
I was just going to say, even if it's placebo, that's still something.
I found, though, with that Hitachi Magic Wand, it's got two speeds.
Uh-huh.
The lower speed is the E string just rings and rings, and then you change speed, and then the E string stops and the D string starts going.
That's funny.
So I would just kind of switch between the two.
Just move that glue around.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's pretty cool.
I did it. I just put it on the back, and that vibration will kind of ding your nitrocellulose, and if you hold it too long, it melts it. So I put a piece of cloth over it.
Oh shit, that's great.
But yeah, it sounds better to me. I don't know if that's placebo or not. But how did we get on this? Oh, we were talking about the pickup settling.
Yeah. We're talking about the first Super Squire.
So that was ours, and we announced that we're going to do it again for Patreon members. However, the twist is the Patreon members get to pick every aspect of the bass.
Mm-hmm. We did polls and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we threw out every Squire jazz bass that was available. Mm-hmm. The classic vibe ended up winning. This is the same classic vibe that we used in our jazz bass shootout.
Totally makes sense. We did everything from Affinity to classic vibe, right?
Yeah, and as far as I know, in the Squire line, the classic vibe is the top tier. Yeah. So we have the classic vibe jazz bass in Inca Silver with the matching headstock. Again, beautiful. If you watch our jazz bass run through, it's that one.
Yeah.
Then we went, I think we did pickups next.
Mm-hmm. Which the choices were what? Aguilar, EMG, Seymour Duncan.
So many. Like every, it was, you're right. Aguilar, Seymour Duncan, EMG, DiMarzio, and Lindy Fralin.
Oh, wow.
And I think there was one more we gave them, but I can't. Bare Knuckle.
Bare Knuckle.
Oh, and Flying Mojo.
Damn, I did not even look at the poll. I didn't know we had that many choices.
I searched high and low for every.
That's pretty cool.
So in all those brands, I included every model. And as you know, Seymour's got like 10.
Yeah.
So out of all of
that's a lot.
Out of all of those choices, the Aguilar
hum canceling.
What is
ones,
the
right?
what is the yeah, they're hum canceling. It's Aguilar 4JHC. So
Wow.
it stands, 4-string jazz bass hum canceling.
Okay. What came in second? Do you remember?
SPB3, the quarter
Really?
pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
Quarter pounds came in second.
Interesting. I was expecting it to be like Aguilar and Lindy who top two. Because those are some of the best pickups I've ever heard.
Think, yeah. Well,
Whatever. To each their own.
Yeah. So then we went over to Bridge.
And then we did.
And
we did Omega? Or was it
Omega, Hipshot Kick-Ass, Babbitt's Full Contact Hardware, and Fender's
their high mass. Okay.
The one that's coming on the American Professionals right now.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't really shocked by this. The Babbitt's one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the Babbitt Bridge is so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like, I remember, I think when he started out, he was doing the acoustic guitars.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Jeff Babbitt is listening right now, so Jeff, I'm so sorry, but it was ugly, dude. It was so ugly. The way, like, it would just spread from, like, where the tailpiece would be out to the, butt of the guitar, whatever piece that is.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, and it looks like it fans out. That's
Okay.
his design.
Well, that's awful.
And then, so then he finally kind of got wise fast.
Yeah, now they're amazing. Best bridges I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, real quick, another piece of news. And I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. If you guys remember, I was talking about a couple months ago that I owned all the way huge pedals. Mm-hmm. Well, I saw something at Instrumental Music that I just had to have. It was a 2015 Gibson SG bass.
Especially in the wake of the Gibson news.
Well, yeah, I kind of went a little nuts spending some money that I didn't have and selling some stuff to get. I kind of acquired a lot of Gibsons just because it was
kind of. You have like
10.
10.
So,
oh my god! Like a couple months ago, you had 2 or something.
I went from 2 to 10.
Jesus Christ!
But it was really uncertain pre-May. You didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Turns out we all know what happened now. But you didn't know. So I went with the 2015 SG bass. It was like $1,800. I got
short scale. It's got the same Babbitt's bridge on it, right?
Yeah. So that's where I was going. Now that I own the Babbitt's bridge, I absolutely love it.
It's awesome.
It's so easy to adjust, and it's so smooth, and it's awesome.
Outside of adjusting it too, we did the SG bass shootout a while back.
Yes,
and it's incredible how much better because the
3-point
Epiphone one, is a 3-point contact one, so it's like the 2 sides and then the very back.
Yeah,
this one's full contact, and it made a huge difference. And that could also be the short scale too, because I know short scales have a thing about like better resonance.
Yes,
I've heard. Well,
better resonance, and then there's another thing of like less harmonics just because of the string
something
length.
Like that. I don't know all the science behind it, but I just know that a lot of people rave about short scales for how they sound and how even they sound string to string versus like a lot of people have issues where you get up to the higher register, or at least the D and G strings, and it kind of cuts out, like the low end cuts out. I read, because I was running that issue, and I read that short scales do that much less.
I read the same thing.
So that's pretty cool. And
but
yeah, yours is awesome.
Aside from the full contact of it, just adjusting the height for the strings is
way easier, right? Isn't it only one Allen key and it adjusts it like
one Allen key adjusts
it
all
evenly?
of it? Yeah,
yeah, like that's awesome.
All you need is a Phillips screwdriver and that one Allen key, and you can do anything on the bass.
The biggest pain in the ass with like a standard bridge, like a Fender one, is that you have to match the 2 sides. You know what I mean? Like there's one key per side, and that can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. It's not like grueling by any means, but not having to worry about that is just like awesome.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
So then we go from. Oh, and then also with the pickups too, I forgot to mention, we're using the Obsidian Wire solderless jazz bass kit. I
have Obsidian Wire in my P bass, right?
Yeah, the Mexican one that we kind of sanded down and made look a little bit more 50s.
We did a video about that too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it sounded good.
That was a cool story. So what had happened, I came across this guy's channel. His name's Lando27. Shout out to Landon if you're listening. He's out in Canada, which...
Nice.
I've only ever been to Canada once, but for some reason I'm really drawn to it. I really want to go again.
Dreams.
But anyway, he had done a Super Squire video that, after we had come up with the idea, I was like, oh, I wonder if anyone else has done it. That's how I came across his channel. He put the Obsidian Wire in his, and that was the first time I heard about it. They're a company from New Zealand.
Is he bass or is he guitar? I don't remember.
He does both.
Oh, okay.
But this particular one, he did a jazz bass.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, he beat us to it, but hey, we can still do it. Mm-hmm. So that's when I first heard about Obsidian Wire. They're a company out in New Zealand, and they're making high quality, because a lot of people kind of poo-poo on Gibson's PCBs,
Everything Gibson. Nobody likes them anymore. And then everybody's like, oh no, they're going under.
My issue with Gibson's PCB is I understand, to cut costs and cut the time down, you don't got to solder, you just plug it in. That's all well and good. My SG has it. Problem is they stopped producing the pickups with the quick connect on them. So now from what went from a great idea of, I can swap pickups in seconds, now became I'm stuck with these pickups because I can't find 57s with the quick connect
They should
anymore.
have at least made it an option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for every model.
So a lot of people are ripping them out. But anyway, with the Obsidian Wire, they don't use any quick pigtail clips. Mm-hmm. You just put the leads into these little holes, and
and they kind of snap down.
They snap down on them.
They're awesome.
So you really can just swap any pickup. So I just I bought it. I just cool, yeah, we're going to use this because I'm not going to embarrass myself soldering. Mm-hmm. So we posted that picture on Instagram, and their Obsidian Wire CEO, his name's Matthew, emailed me and said, hey, thanks so much for, and that's how we got the P-Bass one, is he thanked us for using it and said, if there's anything else you want to see, I said, well, yeah, dude, let's do the P-Bass.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, yeah, that's cool. We got a good relationship with those guys now. Great people. I mean, I haven't met any of them personally.
Right?
New Zealand, yeah. Seems like they're really good people making a great quality product.
Oh, yeah.
You can't knock it. It's super cool.
It really is. It's really easy to use, too. For people that are really dumb like us.
Yeah.
We're good at playing them, but we can't do anything past that. So. Okay, so let's talk about what we tried to do.
Full disclosure. Before we get to that, let's just go up to the headstock real quick.
Yeah.
There wasn't many tuning machines to choose from, so surprise, surprise, everybody wanted the same ones that we have. It's the Hipshot HB7, and the HB7 is made to fit the overseas bases, the Fender styles. Mm-hmm. And then it has the BT7, which again fits the overseas, but it's the drop tune. It's the extender. So you flip a lever and you're instantly in drop D, and then you push it back up and you're back to E.
Which is awesome. And it works perfectly right now. It's in just perfect tune.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And we threw in another extra. We didn't give people the option. We just knew that this is a cool thing and it has to go. The problem with a lot of Fender basses, as people know, is the A string behind the nut buzzes. Mm-hmm. And I know you've come up with some creative ways using zip ties,
shoelaces and zip ties, and a bunch of stupid stuff. Even on my Strat, I had to do it.
Yeah,
there's just always something.
It's a thing with Fender. It's just like Nick was talking about.
The string tree on a normal Fender is circular, and it only gets the D and the G strings.
And then you can buy, because the Fender Elite series has the one on the A.
Yeah.
And then you can buy it aftermarket. But Hipshot's now making a string tree that you can do 2, 3, 4, and I think up to 5 strings.
That's cool.
So obviously you're not doing the lowest string, but depending on how many strings your bass has.
6 string or something, you could do those.
So we did the 3 string option. So now the A, D, and G both have proper tension behind the nut, so you get no buzzing.
And it looks damn good.
It looks super classy.
It runs a little bit over the Squire logo, but that's really not a big deal at all.
Yeah. And then again, we're talking science that we know nothing about. The more mass you add to the instrument, apparently it affects the tone. And some people say that even at the headstock is more important to add mass there. People make these aftermarket things you can put on the back of your headstock to give it mass.
Is it just like a weight?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is.
Weird.
Just, to give it equal resonance across the instrument.
Don't they do porting in the bodies now too to make them lighter?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's super strategic and mathematical of where they drill it. Gibson's got their whole crazy thing mapped out. But full disclosure, we had the bass stock, I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago or so. We tried to do this podcast, and our whole thing was, let's do the mods on the show.
Yeah, so people can hear it happening, because that's how we did the other one.
Ew, great idea.
And the only thing that really didn't go perfectly, the only thing that didn't go as well as I would have liked it to on the other one is the nut. No, the nut.
Oh, on ours.
On ours, yeah. The nut was a little bit of a cringe video to watch.
Well, like we run into every time we do anything, is we get overzealous and under-equipped. So we never have the proper tools for anything. We just let's do it. I'm excited. So, that was a little bit cringy. So we decided not to mess with the nut.
The rest of it was fine, though. That's why I was...
Yeah,
that's why I wasn't worried about doing this one.
So we didn't mod the nut on this bass for 2 reasons. One, because we were under the assumption that we were going to do it and we were under-tooled. Two, on our bass, we used the Graphtec Tusk Jazz Bass one. It was pre-filed and all that stuff. And I'm not, and I think you're not either, super excited about the string spacing.
Yeah, the spacing is a little different than a Fender Squire would be, and it's weird how much you get used to that spacing without realizing it, and then you get a different one and you're like, whoa. Like Josh came with his Dingwall the other day, and that was even weird for me to play because the spacing is different on that. And it's just, it's not difficult, but like the muscle memory aspect of playing kind of goes out the window. Like you got to start thinking about it again.
Yeah, well, and aside from just the spacing in general, is I feel like the E and G are too close to the edge of the fretboard.
That's true. They slip off really easily.
Frightening.
I don't like that.
So we didn't want to hit that route again. And again, we were originally under the assumption that we were going to be doing these mods, and we didn't have a file, or do we know how to file a nut properly? So we left the nut alone. But a couple weeks ago, we were trying to do the mods on the bass. Oh, easy enough. How many times have we swapped a bridge on a bass?
So many.
Countless.
So many.
Yeah, all right, so that's
way before we started doing this. Like this show.
Yeah.
We were doing that a long
Swapping
time ago.
the badass bridges on your jazz bass and whatever else. So easy enough. We take the bridge off, which I got to say, I'm going to pull this. Oh, also, we're giving the winner all the original parts for the bass as well. So,
but I mean, if you... Once we're done with this story, you're going to kind of be like, well, it's not like I can do anything with these.
Well, unless you have another classic vibe.
I guess so.
This is a heavy-duty bridge that originally came with it.
It's got the brass saddles. I really like that.
Yeah, the big barrel brass saddles. It's a weighty piece.
So I went in, and Chris was talking and doing all like the commentary part of it, and I was in there trying to put all the pieces on. So I unscrewed the bridge, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I put the Babicks on, and I screwed in one side. And then the next one, and then when I got to the third one, I was like, okay, this isn't lining up. Like, did I do something wrong? Like, what happened? So I had to stop him, and I was like, okay, this thing, like, I don't know if you still have the recording, but it's...
I do, and we're going to make it available to Patreons only. Dude. So if you want to watch us fail,
you want to hear
sign up to Patreon.
Completely distraught. We're just, like, so sad by the end. So I was like, man, this isn't fitting. And he's like, you know what? It's not. Like, that's really weird. Everything was a little bit, like, the holes were spaced a little too far for the bridge. And so we're like, what the hell? Like, what are the chances of this happening? And so he looked it up, and it was only the classic vibes, right? Or something like that?
The classic vibe is the only one that has a slightly different screw spacing at the bridge.
That's ridiculous. So we were like, shit, okay. And so we were like, okay, let's forego that for a second. Let's try the pickups now. And as you know, if any of you have jazz basses and you've tried to switch the pickups, you know that there's that little... like cavity, that little...
For the bridge.
Tunnel, type pickup thing for the bridge pickup to go into the... control cavity area. Keep saying cavity. I'm a dentist. So I was like, okay, cool. This will be easy. I've done this before. I know it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it just takes some patience. And so we had the Aguilar pickups, and they have the pullback. Is that what it's called?
The vintage cloth pushback. There's so many words for it.
Which is awesome. Like, I love that.
It's my favorite design.
You don't have to strip anything. It's super cool.
And it's one thick wire, not four little braided ones.
Exactly.
Love it.
And I was like, these are the greatest things ever, until I tried to put the bridge pickup in.
Through that little hole.
With like a cluster of wires, and I was like, this isn't happening. Like, there's no way. And it would have worked if it didn't have like the pushback.
Yeah, because that adds some girth.
Yeah, and then so I would push it through, and the pushback would get stuck on the outside. I couldn't get it in. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, their first podcast back, and we're just butchering this so bad. And so at that point, I'm pretty sure we just kind of gave up.
Yeah, we kind of had to admit, because I didn't even want to try the tuners at that point. I was like, it's going to be stupid if we only get through the tuners.
And so we were pretty pissed. And like, the podcast kind of came to a train wreck. And we're just like, we went from being like the personalities to just being like, dude, should we just stop? Like, should we just cut this short? Like, this is ridiculous. And so we ended up taking it to Fabio over Instrumental Music, who has done a lot of stuff for us. He's a really good
super cool dude. Yeah. I did a video with him where he was talking about the importance of setting up your instrument. I think it's on my website. It's cjeproductions.com if you guys want to check it out. But so we took it to him, and we told him, like, this is what happened. I mean, I know he's got the tools, but I was like, how is he going to do this bridge?
Yeah, but I wasn't too worried about it. People in his position have seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I have another friend, Tracy Longo, who owns Guitar Tech Corner, and he's been in the business for over 30 years. And just go into his Facebook.
Incredible, the repairs he's done.
Oh my God,
incredible!
It's Guitar Tech Corner on Facebook. Just look at some of his repair, like the before. First of all, the headstock breaks is phenomenal. there's this picture of this dude. He had a Les Paul. I think he was trying to do at-home weight relief.
Oh.
The entire back just had these like holes in it, like not all the way through, just little craters all over the back of this thing. And Tracy fixed it to where you couldn't even notice.
It's insane. His work is unbelievable. So I wasn't too worried about bringing it to Fabio because I was like, I'm sure he's seen things and I'm sure he's trained to do this kind of thing. So he did an amazing job.
And Fabio actually worked under John Carruthers.
Really? I think you actually told me that. That's
I think
cool.
He said 12 years.
That is really cool.
That is, John Carruthers is out in Camarillo, which is like 10 miles south of us. But, so essentially what he did is he filled the holes, re-drilled them, and it looks like it came out like that from the factory.
And then I think he routed out the hole from the bridge pickup to the cavity.
I would have to imagine
fit those
that
wires
he did.
through. And I think that's all he did. And then he just put everything on for us. But those are the only
he set it up. The action is fairly low.
Some people play lightly, though.
Yeah.
Most people do.
For me, it's comfortable.
Yeah, for me,
I
it's
know
a little
you
too
hit
low.
a little harder, so it's too low. But tuners are set up gorgeous. On our Super Squire, we noticed that setting up the drop tune was a little bit more of a pain than you would think.
Yeah.
But he set it up perfect. It works great. I went to pick it up, and the only question he had is, he said, okay, with this string tree, you got two options. You can cover the whole of the original string tree and, in turn, cover a little bit of the S from the Squire logo. Or we can move it back, doesn't cover the logo, but you see the hole. I said, oh, no, always cover the hole.
Yeah, that's going to be tacky looking.
It's just a smidge over the S. We'll post some pictures.
It's really not a big deal, though.
I think it looks really good.
Yeah,
it looks great.
It's functional. You know what I mean? Functionality
all chrome. The only thing that we had a slight oversight, again, like we always do, is the Obsidian wire, instead of split shaft, they're solid shaft, so the normal jazz bass knobs don't fit. So at the moment, it's knobless, but
we'll get them on there before we send it out.
Yeah,
so
$12 gets it in there. And then the last thing I picked up, which was today, paid for, was the Gator case, hard shell case, universal Fender bass.
Oh my god!
Oh, dude, it's so cool.
Cooler than any case I have.
Got those two accessory compartments in there. The bass fits gorgeous. It's a super comfortable handle. So obviously, as you could guess, the bass will be shipped in that case. Shipping at UPS to whoever.
What elixirs on there, right?
No, they're NYXLs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes, my new favorite string.
And the gauge, I'm not sure, but I think you picked out the strings, or Nick did.
If I picked them, I would have did 45 105. I'm sure Nick would have done the same.
Yeah, then it's
personally, I use 50 to 105, but like I don't know anybody else who does that, so I figured 45 is fine. And you can change the strings when you get it, whatever you want to do. It's yours at that point, so
anything you want to do
can
with
take everything off and put all the.
And that was the other thing too. The nut. Even though we're ill-equipped, the nut is a fairly simple procedure to do if you decide. Because really, I mean, what other option is there than Graphtec? As far as I'm concerned, I don't know any other ones. So
that's true.
If you want to get an unfiled Graphtec and do it yourself, or take it to your local luthier, that's up to you. We didn't. Again, we thought at the original time we would be doing it ourselves. We didn't want to break it,
which we did on the other one.
So now that we're 48 minutes in, let's hear it.
Cool.
And we are running through the Tonehammer 500 direct out, and it is pre-EQ, so this is pretty much as clean as the signal as we're going to get.
Those both pickups, and then we'll do front pickup. These are toned at all the way.
Do you hear that?
No.
Exactly. All right, front pickup. Let's do it.
Pretty nice. Back pickup, tone wide open.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, now real quick, I want to know just from feel on our failed mod podcast, we played it at the front stock. Maybe we'll play a clip of that right here. So do you notice, I mean, obviously there's some differences in tone with the Aguilar pickups, but do you notice a feel difference with the bridge at all? If you can remember playing it back then?
Yeah, I don't remember playing it before. I honestly don't remember. It's been a long time. It's been like 3 weeks since I played this last. But we played it a couple times before that. You'd think I would remember, but all I know is that it feels good.
That's good.
And it never felt bad, so maybe it just feels better now.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it is in the upper tier of Squire instruments.
It was nice. Before we even did any mods, I was like, dude, let's just keep this and give away something else. This is awesome.
Hey, guys, you can win our Sub Ray 5.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, yeah, this thing feels tremendous, and it's so nice, and the pickup sounds so good. Like, I've run into the issue a lot with jazz bass pickups, usually stock ones, is that they're either uneven in volume or they're a little bit too intense of what they're going for. Like, you know how a front pickup is like, I don't want to say emulating a P-bass pickup because that's not what it is, but it sounds like a P-bass pickup kind of.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with, I mean, even though the P-bass coil is split to make it hum canceling, it's still a single coil. And for the most part, you know, maybe it's millimeter or two off, they're pretty much in the same position as far as where the string is, you know?
And I've noticed that a P-bass obviously has perfected that. Like, it always sounds right. But sometimes when you go to the front pickup of a jazz bass, it's a little too clanky or a little too mid-present. There's something about it that's not quite right.
Yeah.
And then also on the back pickup, it's a little too thin or a little too, like, honky kind of sounding. But these two are balanced so well. Like, it doesn't...
They really are.
They have their own characteristic, each pickup, but they sound really good by themselves,
You could
too.
differentiate which pickup you were on, but like you said, it didn't have that extreme that you associate with, you know, a standard jazz bass.
Exactly. So I really like this thing. And even the scoop jazz bass tone when you have both on is real, like, subtle. Like, it doesn't scoop the mids too much.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Because I think we have that... Oh, it's going to be pre-EQ, right?
Yeah, it's pre-EQ.
From what I'm hearing on the amp... We have that thing set pretty much flat, and it sounds really good.
It's pretty much flat. We have the treble up at like 2 o'clock just because the Fender cab is a little darker.
And the Aguilar heads in general
aren't
super present.
So
that's why they have the ultra high, ultra low type stuff on the newer ones.
Oh, that's true.
Because they're kind of made for that sound, but sounds damn good.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, like you said, all straight up except for the treble. I think gain is straight up, and then we have the master set down.
Let's
roll some tone.
Let me show off the drop tune.
Oh,
too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just do both pickups on, drop tune it, and then I'll do the tone all in one go.
Okay.
So yeah, here's both pickups with the tone all the way up. We'll just do that again, and I'll drop it.
Now hit the D and then raise it back up to the E. Hey.
Perfect tune. Perfect tune.
Yeah. Let's check out the tone knob.
Okay. And that doesn't sound too muffled.
Not at all.
Which is a big problem with rolling the tone off.
Let me hear the tone off just bridge pickup.
Okay. It's nice.
Damn.
It's very nice. You get that Jocko Joe Darty type of sound
and
going
you know
on.
what else too is that sound, whether it be all the way down or maybe just halfway down, sounds like it would lend itself well to like the sponge under the string kind of thing. Like,
definitely.
I'm getting a super versatile vibe.
I feel like this
bass
would sound really good with flats on it too. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Aguilar, like I said earlier, Aguilar and Lindy Fralins are two of the best bass pickups I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I like the Seymour stuff.
Seymours are good, EMGs are good, but there's something about...
The Seymour stuff, to me, sounds like it leans a little bit towards the heavy side of things, where Aguilar and Lindy lean a little bit more towards the kind of R&B, jazz, more that realm.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
So
I just feel like, especially the people at Aguilar, you know that like they're bassists designing these things. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And that's really noticeable when you yourself are a bassist. Because when you play guitar and you get a bass and you get these pickups in it, it's like you don't know that as well as you know a guitar. You know what I mean? So you're like, oh, okay, it sounds good enough for me. I'm good.
Yeah.
But when bass is like your only instrument, you can really tell when a lot of thought and like care go into how things are made and how they sound. You know?
Oh, yeah, no, most definitely.
So yeah, Aguilar and Lindy win it for me for sure. But my Lindys do heavy so well. I know you were saying that the EMG and the Seymours lean toward heavy too, but I drive those things and it sounds awesome.
It really
They're like
does.
crystal clear. They're great.
Let me, I'm just going to get a little PR-y for a second, but let me just read what Aguilar says about these pickups. The AG45 and 6JHZ split coil pickups give you noiseless jazz bass tone that works for all playing styles. Yeah, just like we were talking about. With traditional single coil pickups, bassists are plagued by hum when the neck and bridge pickups are at different volume levels. Yes, yes. While other sorry, I'm giving my own little commentary here. While other hum canceling pickups tackle the noise, you are left with thinner lows, a harsher mid-range, and a lack of dynamics. The Aguilar hum canceling pickups feature a split coil design that allows you to get any pickup level combination without 60 cycle hum, all while retaining the natural organic tone of your bass. Now you can experience the deep, resonant low end of the neck pickup or solo the bridge pickup for that sought-after mid-range cut without annoying hum. Wound in Aguilar's NYC factory, the HC pickups are wound to have big dynamic tone that Aguilar pickups are known for. Yeah, pretty much
Yeah, they hit the nail on the head
easy
with
to
that
digest
description.
thing of what we just said. Let's put that to the test real quick. If you go both pickups on, and I know you personally, you're apt to roll off a little bit of the bridge.
I roll off a little bit of the neck.
Damn it, I was totally wrong.
It really, okay, to be fair, it depends on what's going on.
That's true.
It depends on the setting. But yeah, in a jazz bass, I'll roll one off.
Let's try that.
Okay, cool. So I'll roll off the, take my phone out of my pocket. I will roll off the neck first, then I'll do the bridge after that.
Okay, cool.
It's definitely noticeable.
Yeah, I got to say, that obsidian wire harness is sounding killer.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Wow.
And what was it? Did Tracy tell you that rolling one off kind of makes for a better tone because they're kind of fighting for output?
Yeah, well,
Not off all the way, obviously, but
with both pickups fully 100% on, your bass is a little quieter than if you just roll one back.
okay.
And that's he had a cool analogy. I forget it exactly, but because they're both fighting for the same output, they, obviously you get some phase cancellation. Thank you, and a little bit of noise reduction because they're both fighting.
Okay, and that's what kind of gives it that sound with both of them on there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of the characteristic for sure. Yeah, that was interesting when you told me that, and I've been experimenting with that ever since.
Yeah, so just rolling one of them off just a little bit, but then you're plagued by the hum, which with these you're not.
Exactly. So you're living the dream with this bass.
Hell yeah.
This thing sounds so good. If I had my eyes closed, I would not guess that it was a Squire. Sometimes you can tell, with Squires.
Oh yeah.
This thing is incredible.
With the affinity.
Yeah, exactly. But this thing is amazing. This is a wonderful bass. This is definitely recording ready, gigging ready. Whatever you want to do, this thing will get you there like really well. So
Oh yeah, no, most definitely.
I'm very envious of whoever wins this thing, to be honest.
Now I guess we got to. When are we going to announce it? We obviously got to put the knobs on it.
Yeah, I'll put the knobs on.
That's easy enough, though.
I don't know.
How
do you want to do it?
What's the date today? Today is the
6th.
So this will probably be. It's Friday today, so this podcast will be out Monday, which will be the 9th. Maybe even Sunday. I don't know. Whatever day you're listening to this, that's when it came out. So I guess the next Friday. Let me check my calendar here. The next Friday is the Friday the 13th.
We'll give it away then.
But you got to. Okay.
Everybody that didn't win will be like unlucky. You know what I mean? For Friday the 13th.
Just as long as we don't ship it Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Oh no.
So, how do we want to go about this? Do we want to write? Well, just in case you didn't know, the only way to win it is to support us on Patreon. We have 2 tiers. We have the $1 and the $5. $5 gets you access to giveaways, this one included. So if you want to win the base, or if you want to have a chance to win the base, I should say, sign up to Patreon if you haven't already. Friday the 13th, let's just write everyone's name down, put them in a hat, and pick it out.
Perfect.
Just fully random.
We'll do it on the 13th. We'll make a video if you want to do that.
I think, we definitely have to make a video.
Cool.
So there we go. We're just going to leave it up to chance, writing everyone's name down on paper, put it in a hat, shake it up, give it all the good random juju.
Cool.
Pick one out, and then we'll just, show it to the camera, whatever we got to do. And then we will work on not shipping it that day. We'll maybe ship it the next Monday.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Take it on over to UPS, and it'll be on your way, or on its way to you.
Yeah, it's exciting. Finally.
Yeah, it's been a while. You know what else? Because of our little break, we've been slipping a little bit on giveaways. I think the last thing we gave away was the battalion, and I think that was in January.
Damn, it was a long time ago.
So
give away some dark glass stuff. We got a lot of
We
that.
have 2 duality fuzzes. Should we give one of those away?
Absolutely. We'll
Okay.
give away the B3K, I think, because I don't want that.
Yeah.
Only because we have all the other stuff.
This is true.
So the stomp box version isn't necessarily.
The only thing we need to do with the B3K before we give it away is we got to do that comparison of the vintage microtubes,
yeah,
the
we
B3K.
We got time. We
and
shouldn't
the
give away
alpha.
the duality and the B3K too close together anyway. So.
Man, why not?
Okay, yeah, that's
That'd
fine.
be fun.
Anyway, they sent us a plethora of things, so we have some stuff to give away, which is good because I already had a couple things already. So we'll just give away the duplicate stuff.
Okay.
Definitely not giving away the symmetry.
No,
That is
symmetry
mine.
and the ultras I think we should keep.
Yeah, the ultras for
because
sure.
we can do a lot with those.
I'm keeping one of the dualities, obviously, too.
Well, yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's say on August 3rd. August 3rd is the first Friday of August. And I'll write it down
Did
later.
we give away one of the Ampeg DIs?
No.
We have 2, don't we?
No, we only have 1.
Oh, well, I don't really want to give that away, too.
All right.
I'm super,
'Cause we
super
promised-
streamlined on my gear now.
We promised everyone up front that it would be 4 giveaways a year. What does it matter if we do them all at once, right? It's still going to be 4 winners.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so let's do this.
I got plenty of stuff that we could give because,
August 3rd, we're giving away a Dark Glass Duality Fuzz, a Dark Glass B3K, and an
Ampeg SCR-DI.
That's the one, Ampeg SCR-DI. So, if you've made it this far in the podcast and you're not a Patreon member, I think now is incentive as it's going to get.
Yeah, we're kind of just throwing stuff at you now, so.
We're going to have to do a lot more promotion on that. But
definitely.
You'll probably see some YouTube ads and Facebook ads coming out. But there we go. You heard it here. For the record, we decided what we're going to give away this year. So that's 4.
That's 4, yeah.
Actually 5. If we did the battalion in January, that's 5.
Yeah, because this will be, who cares?
Yeah,
That's okay.
the base was a whole other special thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, giving away, just to reiterate, because we've already repeated it, Super Squire Bass, Dark Glass Duality Fuzz, Dark Glass Microtubes B3K, and Ampeg SCR-DI we're giving away. And, the pedals will be August 3rd, and the bass will be next Friday.
Cool.
So with that, I think that is all we have to say.
For now, yes.
Yes, unfortunately, Nick couldn't be with us, but we hope that he is having fun doing whatever he's doing tonight.
Working.
Yeah.
It's always fun, right?
No, he just got off.
Oh, okay.
All right, he's going to go home and have fun with his kids.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, cool. So you want to... I can't say this without a straight face anymore. Do you want to play us out?
What does that mean?
We'll do it live.
Oh, man. Here we go.
All right, last chance to hear the Super Squire Jazz Bass.